opens up with a long narration. Wow! Thanks, author! Thanks for summarizing the movie, because clearly anyone who's reading this story hasn't seen the movie. Then we get to this crazy narration to go with it. War? What war? There's no war in Little Nicky. Devils also cherish souls, which is why Adrian and Cassis almost got their father killed. Anyway, the exposition is over and we can actually start our story. The story starts in hell. I can't believe you're actually planning to go through with this, sir.
Satan glanced over at Michelle, annoyed with her disobedience once again. She was a pleasant enough girl, he had to admit that, but she had a tendency to get under his skin and not getting back out.
Michelle, if we want peace between the two planes and the balance between good and evil to be properly restored, then we must proceed with this course of action without hesitation. Besides, who was it who begged, pleaded, and bargained her soul for this event to take place?
Wait. Who's Michelle?
Michelle is the OC. She is assigned to be a certain someone's watchdog. And that certain someone is Adrian. But wait, we have our first problem. Michelle's a mortal and Adrian can smell mortals. So, what is she doing in hell? Why isn't she tortured like the other mortals?
You know your OC is a Mary Sue in step 1. You're writing a Little Nicky fanfiction. Your character lives in hell as immortal, but she isn't tortured like Hitler was.
Satan wants Michelle to open the flask and release Adrian, but Michelle's too afraid, and then Satan comes up with a bright idea.
Satan nodded to Jimmy, his right-hand demon, who gave her the invisibility robe.
Be careful, Michelle!
Jimmy warned her, his beady, blue eyes flashing with concern as she began putting on the robe.
In which case, leave the room immediately before he realizes you are mortal and susceptible to his powers. If he is able to discover you and you utter a single word to him, you will immediately forfeit your soul to his evilness, and you will rot in hell for all eternity. Understood?
The hell? This isn't Harry Potter. They don't have invisible robes. This is Little Nicky, goddammit. Then Michelle opens the flask and Adrian is mad at his father.
Hello, son.
Adrian did not accept the warm greeting.
How dare you call me your son? Trap me in that damn flask like a dog in a kennel for what, 2 years now? Do you know how impossible it is to live in a small hellhole with a brother twice your weight? I couldn't hide in that flask.
He spit out a little drop of bile, which burned as it, too, hit the floor.
You treat me like an animal in desperate need to be caged. Yet you have the nerve to call me your son?
Died. They're devils. They can't die. That's why whenever Nicky got hit by a train in the real world, he was sent back to hell because that's where mortals go besides heaven. Not only that, but he's been living there for 2 years. If he's lived there for 2 years, I'm pretty sure he can live there forever. Anyway, Adrian continues on his rant, but Satan says that he has plans for his eldest son. That doesn't make any sense. That's like someone going to jail for life for being a war criminal, and then releasing them 2 years later so they can do something good like get married.
Foreshadowing!
Even if they tried to take over the world.
Of course!
After some fan service, Adrian can still smell Michelle, but he decides to take a nap instead. Michelle goes back to Satan's chamber, then tells him of Adrian's recent activity.
My question is, why doesn't Satan do this himself? Foreshadowing! Okay then.
Satan is talking about some kind of event that he's planned for Adrian, which is foreshadowing.
Foreshadowing!
Alright, shut up. So the story. Michelle doesn't really like Satan's plan, but then we have a flashback of Michelle's past.
Michelle, being only 16 at the time, had decided to place it around her neck and wear it around her home. At one point, she had touched it and instantly, she was transported from her home to a place covered in flowers and filled with light. Frightened, Michelle ran to the nearby castle where she was greeted warmly by a woman named Holly, who completely captivated Michelle. Her golden blonde hair flowed majestically down her shoulders, her blue eyes sparkled like sapphires, and her smooth, pink skin was flawless. She would be, in Michelle's opinion, the most beautiful woman she had ever seen.
Hello, Michelle. I'm Holly. We've been expecting you for quite some time. You've been expecting me?
Michelle swallowed hard, the new definitely surprising.
For how long?
Holly smiled warmly.
Since you were born, honey, you see, you're in heaven right now.
Michelle blinked.
Heaven? You mean I'm dead?
Holly laughed